Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your board. P-Funk, thinking right out here in the lab. I do the do for you. For my new people, this is going to be new, but for my older ones, this is going to be a recap of what we started. Let's go. Let's give a heads up. Writism, 24 rules to live by. Storytelling, start with a message story for life. I give life lessons. Use the book sometimes to get my point across. I'm going to do the book today again to get my point across. Add in my little side notes, but it's going to be a good lesson for you. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual disciplines will help and guide you to obtain your goal, spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission, and that's what I'm on. That's what I do for you to get you to know thyself. So the question, do you know you? Yes, rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer, stay tuned. I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do for you. Stay tuned. I got you. I appreciate you too. A person who knows not and believes that they know foolish, excuse me, no, dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep spiritually. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up. Knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Think, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. Today I'm taking it back to the book, matter of fact, to the front of the book. Because I think if you want to know what I do, this is a good indicator. I can explain it to you. It's called Introduction to She Taught Netta, which I just gave a lesson about that. But the purpose is the spiritual culture and the purpose of life. You know your life's purpose? Do you understand your culture? AKA She Taught Netta, Right Thinker Philosophy. Right thinkers, we are Neterians. When I get done, you'll understand what I mean. So let's go with this one. The first thing you have to understand is men and women are to become God-like through a life of righteous, virtue, virtuous, and the cultivation of what? The spirit through what? Scientific knowledge. That means I studied theurgy. That's the science of the gods. So scientific knowledge, and you practice what you learn, and you also practice bodily discipline, physical education. I go to the gym every day. That's part of that concept. So I work all of them in mind, body, and spirit. Now let's talk about that's an ancient Egyptian proverb, by the way. Okay, so we are meant to become God-like. Some of us won't make it. We know that too. But understand that we all go in the same place, but everybody ain't gonna get there. But it's some things that you have to do. You follow things, you'll be the one to get there. Okay, let's go. The mystery teachings of ancient Egyptian temple of the goddess Aset. Y'all know about Isis, and we produced the book that says Mysteries of Isis. They don't say Mysteries of Aset. So they know the Greeks gave her the name Isis, and everybody familiar with that. I prefer Aset. So that's because I'm teaching the concept and I understand it. But they put Aset, then they put Isis in parentheses. Okay. In the temple of Aset are what? Actually one path out of several spiritual paths. Again, there's more than one, but you need to pick the one that suits you within the ancient Egyptian religious concepts. There are many, several paths. Okay. In order to understand and overstand this concept and to have a broader context in which to understand what the teachings of the I said it is necessary to what have a basic understanding. You can start with the basic of what the general program of ancient Egyptian religion system and semi-philosophy or the mystical disciplines related to what they call now religion. Religion should be a way of life and it's presented to some people just that way. And if it's done right, that's what it is. Because I present right thinking as a way of life, philosophical principles that I live by. Now let's talk about this next paragraph. This is going to be the introduction. Watch. Those who wish to become right thinkers, aka Shimsu Netters, followers of the Commission ancient Egyptian spiritual teachers. I do that, but I put my twist on it. That one makes it right thinking. If I just did it the way it's presented, it would be straight Shita Netta. But it's right thinking with Shita Netta. So right thinkers, we're Neterians, okay? Because we practice philosophy of Shita Netta, okay? Now watch this. Shimsu Netters follows the Commission ancient Egyptian spiritual teachings. Now, you are initiated in what? Right thinking philosophy, aka Shita Netta, and or Semi-Tawi. That's the philosophy that I follow. Lay it out, the basics. So when I deviate, I'll let you know and you'll understand. So yeah, so I'm not following to the law because I got something else that I want to add to it. So that's all. So watch this. Shita Netta is the religion and its mythic teachings is based on what? Varied traditions centered around the different god and goddesses. Sema, S-M-A-I, Tawi, T-A-W-I, are the yoga disciplines. That's what I practice, yoga disciplines. And techniques or technologies used to what? This is why I do it, to transform a human being. You need to change your thinking process. That will transform you as a human being. That's the concept. That's the spiritual concept, not the dogma of religious viewpoints. Why? These disciplines will promote a what? Transformation through a movement that purifies the personality and renders it subtle enough to what? To perceive the transcendental spiritual reality beyond time and space between the ears. This is a movement, watch this, from what? Ignorance to enlightenment. That's the transformation. If you're ignorant, you gain knowledge, you become enlightened. That's the transformation. A caterpillar can't turn into a butterfly until it what? Goes into the cocoon, have its metamorphosis, and transform. If it don't do that, it will die a caterpillar. A lot of us gonna die ignorant. So understand that too. If you don't get enlightened, that's the deal. So you go from ignorance to enlightenment, from listen, mortality, which is represented by ignorance, and weakness to what? Immortality, knowledge of self, and supreme power, knowing thyself. And to discover what? The absolute form whence the gods and goddesses and all creation arose. That's the same spirit that's in us, like the ocean concept. So understand this. This is a movement, what? Towards becoming what? One with the universe and the consciousness behind it, which is what? Eternal and infinite. This is what? The lofty goal of initiation into right thinking or right Shematawi or Shita Netta is to transform you to become your best self. So watch this. So those who tread this path must be what? Mature and virtuous, as well as strong, what? Physically and mentally, more important, emotionally. A lot of us get in trouble because we can't control that emotional side of us. Self-mastery teaches you how to do that. That's what I'm trying to show you. The purpose of what? The religion or right thinking philosophy and discipline, excuse me. The purpose of the religion and disciplines is to what? Promote purity of heart and virtue. And these lead to what? Your higher realization and spiritual enlightenment. With knowledge of self, you become enlightened with what? Knowledge of yourself, which is spiritual. The specific teachings related to the what? God Asar, they got to hit Osiris, actually constitutes, listen, constitute only one tradition within ancient Egyptian spirituality and mystical philosophy, meaning there's more other ways, but this is the one that they choose. I'll tell you, we got three of them. I'll go through them later. But right now, we're dealing with the Assyrian. Okay, the I knew the first, the beginning. So therefore, watch this. The next section that I'm going to will present what an overview of right thinker, aka Shitanetta, and how the what Assyrian again religion relates to other traditions within Shita Netta spirituality. Again, it's just one phase. I'm going to take you through it. Now, the following section will present what? An overview of Shita Netta, semi-Tawi, aka right thinking philosophy. I'm part of what they teach because I practice what they teach. So this is called the fundamental principles of the Neterian religion. Christians got 10 commandments. We all got 10. So this is just a fundamental term. And we call it Neterianism. It's the oldest known religion in history. Not Sumerian, no. Right here. Neterian. The term Neterianism is what derived from the name Shita Netta. Shita Netta means the hidden divinity. Amen. The spirit that is in the world is hidden. So we study how to learn, how to know that. We study our nature. Watch this. So Shitaneta means hidden divinity. It is what? The ancient philosophy and mythic spiritual culture that gave rise to what? The ancient Egyptian civilization that lived over 3,000 years in peace and harmony with this philosophical concepts. That's why I took it, adopted, mastered it, dusted it off, cobwebs, and present it now. A lot of people have a clue, but I'm letting you know that's where I got it from. It's not my own. Since I created a new lit. No, I'm just taking you back to what y'all don't know. Simple. That's what teachers do. I teach, enlighten, inspire, and motivate those who want to help themselves. That's what I do for you. So the question now is, in the fundamental principles common to all denominations of Neterian religion may be summed up as follows. Watch this. So the question, what is Neterian? What is Neterianism? And who are the Neterians? Glad you asked. I got about 8 minutes. Let me wrap this up for you. Followers and the side, the hieroglyphic sign is you got the flag, which represent God. You got the little boat, represent eternity of 1,000,000 years. Then you got legs, like little legs. Okay, that means you're following. When you're going that way, you're going the right way. You see ladies going the other way, they're going the wrong way. So they got one right way, the wrong way. So let's go. So the term Neterian is derived from the name Shita Netta, those who follow the spiritual path of Shita Netta and right thinking philosophy are therefore referred to as right thinkers or Neterians. Okay, right thinking Neterians. I live with that. Neterianism is the what? The science. Here we go. The science of Neter, which is God. That is the study of the secret or the mystery of Neter. Again, God. The enigma of that which transcends ordinary consciousness, but from which all creation arises. The world did not, understand this, did not come from nothing, nor is it sustained by nothing. It ain't just happening. Nope. Rather, it is a manifestation of that which is beyond time and space, but which is at the same time permeates and maintains the fundamental elements. In other words, it is the substratum of creation and the essential nature of all that exists. So those who follow right thinking or netter may be referred to as Neterians or right thinking Neterians. Just made that up. So let me go. Wrap it up. Then you got the Neterian Great Truth. This is important. These are the philosophical and principles that govern you to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. Now it says here, the Neterian Great Truth, number one, the Netter, the supreme being, is what? One and alone, and as the virtue manifesting everywhere and in all things in the form of what? God and goddesses, aspects of the one. Again, Neberja means what? All-encompassing divinity, the all-inclusive, all-embracing spirit which pervades all and who is the ultimate essence of all. Some people call him the all. The first truth, unifies all the expressions of the Commission religion. We know God is one. We know everything under God is considered God and goddesses. Netta, God, Neteru, God and goddesses. So slow down, calm down. I'm trying to get you to understand where we started from. So if those who already know this, do, but those who don't, try to get understanding. Second great truth is lack of righteousness brings fetters to the personality, and these fetters leads to ignorance of the divine. That's your ego self. That's the me, the I without the am. Ego represents edging God out. We'll prove that point as we go along. When a human being, watch this, acts in the ways that contradict the natural order of nature, which is negative qualities of the mind, will develop within that person's personality. These are what? The afflictions of Set. Hello. Set is the nether root of what? Egoism and selfishness. Those are qualities that you exhibit. You're living Setanian concepts. And the afflictions of Set, watch this, include anger, hatred, greed, lust, jealousy, envy, gluttony, dishonesty, hypocrisy, etc. I can go on and on. Everything that's bad and negative, that's Set. So to be free from what? The fetters. Now the definition of fetter, again, I'm explaining to you, is self-inflicted stuff that you caused on yourself. Okay, that's a fetter. So to set yourself free from the fetters is to set one must be free from what? The afflictions of Set. Your ego. You have to conquer the ego. It don't work any other way. Third one, devotion to the divine leads to what? Freedom from what? The fetters of Set. When you devote yourself to doing the right thing, being obedient to your higher self, you won't give in to your ego self and do what you want. That's the difference. A believer will satisfy his needs. A knower will only do what God obeys or what is obedient to God. Now, to be liberated, watch this. Not food, aka freedom to breathe from what? The afflictions of Set. You got to get past your ego. One must be what? Devoted to the divine. Being devoted to the divine, I call it spiritual discipline, holds you accountable. Being devoted to the divine means what? Living Mayat. Mayat is a way of life. I keep telling you that. That is purifying to the heart and beneficial for who? Society as a whole. This is why it lasted so long when they practiced it in ancient times. Across the board, it worked. And watch this, and it permeates what? Virtue and order. Doing the right thing, having your stuff together, that's having your house in order. That means when it's time to go, you'll be ready. Why? Because you live in Maya. And living by Maya means practicing what? Right thinking philosophy, Shidi, spiritual practices, and disciplines daily. I tell you, it's got to be done on a day-to-day basis. Last one, let me wrap it up. I look at the clock. I'm trying to beat the clock again. But let me get this last one in. You got Uasha, the fourth one. It means devotion to the classic pose of adoring God. They call it the sign of dua. You put your hands up, you praising God, you prostrate yourself. Some people got knees and bend over, but it's mainly the dua. Okay, showing respect to God. Standing or sitting with upraised hands facing outwards towards the image and the divinity. Again, I come in peace, same thing. Okay, touchdown, same thing. Just a little joke. We wrap it up. Last one. The practice of Shidi disciplines leads to what? Knowing oneself and the divine. That's the goal of right thinking philosophy, and that's my mission to get everybody who practices to understand that. And this is called what? Being true speech, aka Makaru. I speak Makaru. Doing Shidi means to study profoundly. I do that. To penetrate the mysteries, to know, to be understand, she taught, and to what? Discover the nature of the divine. You need to know God. Believing in God don't mean jack, but this is how you know God. There have been several practices designed by who? Sages of ancient Kemet to what? To facilitate the process of self-knowledge. I do that for you every day. These are the what? The religious Shita traditions and the Sama, Tawi yogic disciplines which related to them that argument, statements that augment the spiritual practices. If you put your work in spiritual practice, right thing philosophy, put your study on what you gotta do, you will transform and you will become spiritually enlightened. Watch this. All the traditions relate to the teachings of the sages by means of what? Myths related to a particular god or goddesses. It is understood that all of these Neteru are what? Related, like brothers and sisters, having all emanated what? From the same source, the same supreme divine, the same supreme divine parent, who is neither male nor female, but encompasses the total of the two. I keep explaining that to you. Hope you got the lesson. I got more for you right now. I got to go.